Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I rise to speak in this debate as I expect I've mentioned RAAC on the floor of this House more time than most honourable members since I was elected. Indeed, I've been banging on about this issue since my maiden speech 3.5 years ago. And my focus has been on RAAC, particularly in the health sector and hospitals, namely the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in King's Lynn, which happens to be, unfortunately, the most propped hospital in the country. It has many thousands of steel and timber support props in place, and they are there to keep the staff and patients safe. And that fail-safe work has been funded by the government at a cost of tens of millions of pounds, as it has in other hospitals. And that demonstrates a commitment to address RAAC issues in hospitals, as well as across the education sector and other parts of the public sector and public buildings. And I'm delighted that in May, the Health Secretary announced that the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and the other RAAC hospitals would be added to the new hospitals building programme, the biggest hospital building programme in history, and we will have a new hospital in King's Lynn by 2030. And that really underlines the commitment of this government to dealing with RAAC. I've discussed this directly with my honourable friend, the Prime Minister, on a number of occasions, as well as with his advisers and many ministers. And ironically, given the issues that I've had locally in the NHS, I have not been notified so far of any issues of schools in my constituency in North West Norfolk of being affected. But of course, when recent events occurred, ministers responded rapidly. That has caused concern for pupils, for parents and for teachers, not least given the timing, which of course wasn't in the minister's gift. And I understand that concern well from my local hospital. Working around props and other supports measures brings many challenges for staff and for patients, as it will for teachers and for pupils. And having had the new advice, now that work is underway with schools to ensure that they remain safe spaces for children to learn, for staff to work, and other members who have attested to the rapid nature of the support provided by my humble friend, the Minister, as well as Baroness Barron and others in the department. And in Norfolk, my honourable friend, the member for Mid Norfolk, has an affected school. I know he is supporting them to manage the issues, working closely with the Department for Education. And as he and other schools across the country do that, it's right that the Chancellor has committed to spend whatever it takes to address these issues and to keep pupils safe. And we also heard earlier from the Prime Minister's questions about the increased spending he has approved for maintenance in the education budget in his previous role. But I welcome that, and I welcome the extra £2 billion of funding this year and next, given the pressure that schools are facing. That's vital to continue the major improvements that we've seen in literacy and other standards through our reforms, which my honourable friend, the member from Newbury, set out so ably. And I should also declare an interest as a governor of a school that is part of the school's rebuilding programme, a programme that is going to deliver 500 new schools, as well as dealing with maintenance and backlog issues. Now, given the considerable expertise that exists in the health department, within the NHS and other parts of government, and externally, I hope that that is all being shared and being made available to schools, to the advisors they have, to local authorities, as well as being coordinated through the Cabinet Office so that other potentially affected sectors, such as our prisons, estate and courts, also benefit from it. Of course, pupils, staff and parents in affected schools are very concerned. And it's important that we tackle these issues in a serious and considered manner, not using some of the alarmist language that we've heard today, which will just create unnecessary concern. And I know from the issues that my hospital has faced, I'm a regular visitor there talking to staff, I know how important it is for confidence of staff and patients that we do this in a measured and responsible way, learning from what we know about RAAC in the NHS and elsewhere and how we've secured that. And school leaders will always put the safety of their pupils first, and we should ensure that they have all the support and all of the resources they need to do that, and that's what this government is doing.